Well, let me tell you something, brother. You know something? When I came here tonight, there was so much energy in this room. I felt maybe I was in Madison Square Garden getting ready to win another world title. Or maybe I thought the vibe was so intense, the energy was so crazy, it felt like maybe I was gonna press that no good stinky giant over my head and slam him through the mat, brother. But what I found out was I was in a room full of real Americans, brother. And at the end of the day, with our leader up there, my hero, that gladiator, we're gonna bring America back together. One real American at a time, brother. You know something? I've seen some great tag teams in my time. Hulk Hogan and, ooh yeah, the Macho Man Randy Savage. But you know something? I see the greatest tag team of my life standing upon us, getting ready to straighten this country out for all the real Americans. You know, even though you guys are real Americans, you better get ready. Because when Donald J. Trump becomes the President of the United States, all the real Americans are gonna be nicknamed Trumpites. Because all the Trumpites are gonna be running wild for 4 years. So with the power of Donald J. Trump and all the Trumpites running wild, America is gonna get back on track, and like Donald J. Trump said, America is gonna be great again. You know, when I look out and I see all the real Americans, I think about how Donald Trump, his family was compromised. When I look out there and I see Donald Trump, I think about how his business was compromised. But what happened last week when they took a shot at my hero and they tried to kill the next President of the United States? Enough was enough. And I said, let Trumpomania run wild, brother. Let Trumpomania rule again. Let Trumpomania make America great again. You know something, Trumpites? I didn't come here as Hulk Hogan, but I just had to give you a little taste. You know, my name is Terry Bollea. And as an entertainer, I love you too. And as an entertainer, I tried to stay out of politics. But after everything that's happened to our country over the past 4 years, and everything that happened last weekend, I can no longer stay silent. I'm here tonight because I want the world to know that Donald Trump is a real American hero. And I'm proud to support my hero as the next President of this United States. You know, guys, I've known Donald Trump for over 35 years. You know, hold on a second, hold on. I just had a flashback. I just had a flashback, man. This is really tripping. You know, the last time I was up on stage, Donald Trump was sitting at ringside at the Trump Plaza. I was bleeding like a pig, and I won the world title right in front of Donald J. Trump. And you know something? He's gonna win in November, and we're all gonna be champions again when he wins. And like I said, I've known that man for over 35 years, and he's always been the biggest patriot, and he still is. He's always told you exactly what he thought, and he still does, brother. And no matter the odds, he always finds a way to win. And when he's back in our White House, America is gonna start winning again. You know, guys, over my career, I've been in the ring with some of the biggest, some of the baddest dudes on the planet. And I've squared off against warriors, ooh yeah, savages. And I've even, like I said, body slammed giants in the middle of the ring. And I know tough guys. But let me tell you something, brother. Donald Trump is the toughest of them all. They've thrown everything at Donald Trump. All the investigations, the impeachments, the court cases, and he's still standing and kicking their butts. You know, we never had it better than the Trump years. Back then, we had a thriving economy. We had strong borders. We had safe streets. We had peace and respect around the world. But then we lost it all in a blink of an eye. Crime is out of control. The border is out of control. The price of food and gas and housing is out of control. And the only person who can clean this up is Donald Trump. You know, guys, I really, really love this country. And I've lived the American dream. And I want my kids, your kids, and all those little teeny Hulkamaniacs out there to live the American dream too. This November, guys, we can save the American dream for everyone. And Donald Trump is the president who will get the job done. So all you criminals, all you lowlifes, all you scumbags, all you drug dealers, and all you crooked politicians need to answer one question, brother. What you gonna do when Donald Trump and all the Trumpomaniacs run wild on you, brother? God bless you, and thank you.
So Hulk Hogan has a message to Americans before Election Day. He still believes more than ever that Donald Trump is the only person in our country that could turn our country around. Why? Well, let's ask the man who stole the show at the RNC. There's still buzz around him about that appearance and the shirt that you ripped off. WWE Hall of Famer himself, Hulk Hogan. Hulk, great to see you. Since you stole the show at the RNC in Milwaukee, what's it been like? What's the feedback been like since you came out from Trump?
Well, brother, I still got that Trump pump on, dude. But the weird thing is, I've been going all over the country with Real American Beer, my brand new beer. And I wrote down a bunch of states I was at: Wisconsin, Ohio, Arkansas, Minnesota, Georgia, Florida, Texas, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Illinois, Idaho, Nebraska, Michigan. And everywhere I've gone, thousands of people get in line to come meet and greet me. everybody's for Trump. So I hear what you're saying about the polls, and it's even Steven, and it might be a close call, but let me tell you something. I don't believe the polls. It's going to be a landslide. You know, too big to rig, brother, is the theme here. And at the end of the day, all of America wants to get back to America. Not the way it used to be, but the way it should be, brother. Trump is on fire, and if you listen to where people are speaking from, especially the Democrats, if they say Trump was responsible for the border wall, it's them. If they say Trump was responsible for inflation, it's them. Because in the Bible, like I said before, if you listen to where people are speaking from, you know exactly who they are.
All right, so a couple of things. Trump set the tone, and I think it's the tone that you like. When he's at the Al Smith dinner, he noticed that Kamala Harris has white people for this, black people for this, Hispanic people for this. Trump thought that was something he should point out on Thursday night. Watch.
There's a group called White Dudes for Harris. Have you seen this? White Dudes for Harris. Anybody know? Are some of you here? White Dudes for Harris? Doesn't sound like it. But I'm not worried about them at all because their wives and their wives' lovers are all voting for me.
So is that the type of humor that people like? Is that why he's getting so much of the man vote?
Brother, that dinner wasn't a campaign agenda. That dinner was fun, tongue-in-cheek. It's bipartisan. It was for everybody to have fun and make fun of each other. And for Kamala to pull a no-show, I mean, everybody was upset because everybody's been going to this thing for years and years and years, and it's just levity. It's just lighten up the mood and have fun. So, I mean, it was funny. You know, Donald Trump is quick on his feet, man. He can pivot. He's all smoke and mirrors. But when it comes down to business, he's a businessman. You know, like that economic forum where he schooled that guy who didn't know a thing about tariffs.
Yeah,
Trump's been doing this all of it. Yes, thank you. Bloomberg. Trump's been doing this all of his life. And that's what America needs. Somebody put this country back on track. We want, you know, God in our homes and in our schools and in our country. We basically want safety. We want basically to have, you know, great lives, and we want to be able to economically afford to live a good life and take care of our children. Trump is all about that. Everything I hear on the other side that's supposed to be hope and happy, it all sounds like doom and gloom to me.
Right, and you're like Trump in this. You have your focus, you have your career, but you also, I don't know if you heard, but Trump sells sneakers, he's selling watches. You got that beer shirt on. How did this come to be? And how did you realize there was a lane? Because one thing about wrestling, you guys sell all the time. Right, you're selling the match, you're selling the tickets, and now you're selling the beer.
Got Hulk Hogan's Real American Beer here, and it all started with a conversation in the dressing room because I didn't want to get beat up too bad. So I'd always have my opponent talk to my opponent, said, hey, let's talk the match over with a beer and take it easy on me. So when I saw that the neighbors didn't talk, the Republicans and Democrats didn't talk, I thought if we had Americans beer, Hulk Hogan's Real American Beer, we could bring the country back together, one beer at a time.
You know what's so interesting is there was a time maybe in the 80s with Reagan, you looked at Republicans and they were the white collar guys. And now it really has switched. The president, even though he's a billionaire probably, he is more comfortable with the blue-collar guys. I look at you the same way. You've had a lot of success, Hall of Fame, millions of dollars, but you're more comfortable drinking a beer with the guys.
Well, brother, at the end of the day, I treat everybody the same. And when we're talking about John Kennedy and that old Democratic Party, when he got assassinated, I was in 5th grade. That party was kind of like the way Donald Trump is now. It was Americana, middle of the road, country western, NASCAR. It was Americana. And now all of a sudden, the Republican Party is like that. And when they tell you that they're that the Republicans are demonic and they're a domestic threat, listen to where people are speaking from. That's exactly who they are.
I hear you. Best of luck with the beer. I love the entrepreneurial effort. I know you're going to be with the president soon. Maybe he's going to call on you and tag you into the final 17 days. Hulk Hogan, thanks so much for your time.
You know, brother, I'd like to head the President's Council on Physical Fitness, dude. I'd get everybody in shape, brother.
I hear you. I'm inspired right now. I just don't have short sleeves on to reveal my guns, but they're very similar to yours. Thank you very much, Hulk. I appreciate it.
Very good.
Talk to you soon.
Thank you, my brother.
Well,
I went on Brian Kilmeade.
Kamala's got a man problem. But assistant coach Walz, he's in denial. He's been out wooing white dudes and says, there's no problem. So let's talk to a man with no problems, Hulk Hogan. How you doing, Hulk?
I'm great, brother. How are you today?
I'm doing great now that you're in town. Tell me about being a man. The Democrats can't really figure it out. I don't know what's going on. What's the truth?
Well, the way it goes, brothers, in the Bible, it says, listen to where people are speaking from, and you'll know exactly who they are. So when they say that Kid Rock and Hulk Hogan and stuff like that doesn't make Trump one with the people or a blue-collar worker, if you listen to where people are speaking from and you put Buttigieg up there, Trump definitely wouldn't be a man of the people. That's how it really is, brother. But by the way, just to correct you, Jesse Waters,
yeah.
I know about Waters and your world and all that stuff. Well, this is Trumpomania, and this is his country, brother.
All right, I'll give it to him just for this show, but not after that. I'm going to be taking it back. We saw you ripping your shirt off at the RNC. You know, they've been saying that men that lift weights are fascists. Can you just kind of remind Democrats, because they didn't used to be like this, can you remind Democrats what American men are made of?
Well, brother, at the end of the day, you know, there's a chain of command, our Lord and Savior, the wife and the husband and the kids. At the end of the day, the mother is to nourish, but the man is to protect, serve, and provide. So at the end of the day, that's what this is all about, is being a real man, being a real American, and getting this country and making it not how it used to be, but how it should be, brother.
When you knew Donald Trump back in the day, you guys were running around the country at events, and he was all in your business out there in the ring. And tell me a little bit about Donald Trump when you first met him.
Well, when I first met him, we rented Trump Plaza for WrestleMania 4 and 5. He was at the event from the beginning to the end, and I learned a lot from him, brother, how he handled special kids, how he would talk with the Make-A-Wish kids, and not just give a moment of his time with them. He would spend plenty of time with them, touch them, talk to them, make them feel very comfortable. He's a good man all the way around, brother. He's a good person and a real American.
Your patriotism's up there with pretty much, I don't know, I can't even compare it. What made you fall in love with this country?
Well, I grew up in South Tampa, and from very humble beginnings. You know, my mom was a housewife, my dad worked construction, but I really never knew where we were at on the food chain as far as our economic ladder. And so once I got out from under, you know, going to high school and college, I got into professional wrestling. I made my way. And at the end of the day, this was the land of opportunity for me, because instead of once a month having a small little minute steak to eat, I told myself I never wanted to live like that. I wanted to make my way and make my life. And this country gave me that opportunity. So the American dream is what this country's all about. And Donald Trump represents that, brother.
Now, Kamala Harris is out there eating steaks, slinging beers with Stephen Colbert. I don't know if her drinking beer is going to really change votes. Do you?
Well, at the end of the day, when I hear the word salad over and over, and she won't even answer a question from Brett Baer, she won't even say how many people have come across the border, you know, during her administration. Everything is like that with them. They won't answer the questions, they won't step up to the plate, and they won't even let the American people know what their plan is. So at the end of the day, if you want more of the same, you go down that route. But if you want America the way it should be, you vote for Donald Trump.
All right. And a real American beer. You got to go get it. You got to drink it. That's what Hulk is here about. We love it. Real American beer. You look at it on his T-shirt. Hulkamania, we love you. We love everything about you. Thanks for coming on Jesse Waters Primetime. It's still my world, but this is Trump's country. Click here.
Well, let me tell you something, Trumpomaniacs. Welcome to the house that Hulkamania built. You know something? Usually when I'm in Madison Square Garden, I'm body slamming giants. I'm winning world heavyweight titles, and I'm cracking people over the heads with steel chairs. And the energy in Madison Square Garden is off the Richter scale. But today, Trumpomaniacs, the energy in here is something like I've never felt. The energy of all these Trumpomaniacs is the most powerful force in the universe. And today, this is Donald Trump's house, brother. You know something, Trump maniacs? I don't see no stinking Nazis in here. I don't see no stinking domestic terrorists in here. The only thing I see in here are a bunch of hard-working men and women that are real Americans, brother. You know, when I hear my president and our president, Donald Trump, speak, he sounds for real, brother. He sounds like he has a heart of gold that's all for the USA. But when I hear Kamala speak, it sounds like a script from Hollywood with a really, really bad actress. You know, Kamala is responsible for the border crisis, and Kamala is also responsible for inflation. And then you know something? She acts like she's the victim. And then all of a sudden, she flips, she flops, she spins and turns it around and acts like she's gonna be the damn hero. But we all know Trump is the only man that can fix this country today. And with Trump as our commander-in-chief, peace through strength will fix all the problems in the Middle East. You know, I've been coming to this building month after month after month, and I've seen sold-out crowds over and over again for over 40 years. And for 40 years, I've always asked the question, what you gonna do? Over and over and over again, what you gonna do? Well, today, after feeling the energy in this building, I finally got the answer. And the answer is, vote for Trump. So now, I got a couple questions for you. What you gonna do about the border invasion? What you gonna do about inflation? What you gonna do about keeping America safe, brother? And what you gonna do about putting God in our homes, in our country, and our schools? So I guess we're all on the same page. So I got one final question for you. What you gonna do and who's gonna make America great again? God bless Donald Trump. He's our next president.
So after captivating America with his Trump-mania speech at the RNC and endorsing Donald Trump, Hulk Hogan, he appeared on stage at Donald Trump's massive Madison Square Garden rally in New York City yesterday. Here's what he had to say.
You know, when I hear my president and our president, Donald Trump, speak, he sounds for real, brother. He sounds like he has a heart of gold that's all for the USA. But when I hear Kamala speak, it sounds like a script from Hollywood with a really, really bad actor. actress. We all know Trump is the only man that can fix this country today. And with Trump as our commander-in-chief, peace through strength will fix all the problems in the Middle East.
Here with more wrestling legend himself. What did that say on your shirt? The one and only legend, Hulk Hogan, is with us. How are you, sir? You are having too much fun out there.
I'm great, brother. I still got my Trump pump on, brother, from Madison Square Garden.
you know, I work out. I'm not taking you on either. You were great in one of the Rocky movies, and I remember the size difference. I'm like, oh my gosh, that was brutal. And then at the end, it was funny. All right, so you tapped into something that I think is really relevant. Trump is real. I do interview after interview after interview with Donald Trump. I have one tomorrow with him. And these are not scripted answers. These are answers from the heart. Kamala can't talk about her real views, so she has to hide them. I think that's a big part of why she's not doing well. Your thoughts?
Well, the main problem I have with her is she will never answer the question. Whenever she's confronted, if she has the answer, she won't tell you the answer because at the end of the day, all the policies are bad. They're taking this country in the wrong direction. So when people talk about the word salad, in the wrestling business, we call it a bunch of gaga, you know, and it just doesn't mean anything. So when you talk to Trump, you got a feeling, you know, that he's real. He's tangible. He connects with the American people, and he loves this country. I've known the guy since WrestleMania 4 and 5, almost 40 years ago. He hasn't changed a bit. He's the same generous, honest guy he was back then. He loves this country, he loves life, and he loves his family. And when he talks about bringing God back into our homes and back into our country and back to our schools, the people understand he's for real. He's sincere about that.
What do you make of the Nazi, fascist, racist closing argument, the psychotic rage that has now overtaken the Joy campaign?
Well, there's a clip that you didn't show. And when I went on stage, I said, no, this is the house that Hulkamania built, or whatever I said, and this is Trumpmania. Can't remember what I said, but I looked around 22,000 people, and I said, I don't see no stinking Nazis in here. You know, I don't see any domestic terrorists. I just see hardworking people, men and women that love this country, that want safety, security. They want, you know, to be, you know, how would I say, be able to pay their bills and get along in life and just have a good life in God and country. Just good American, real American people in the building. What they're saying is just spewing venom. It's not true.
Yeah, you know, the people that get up every morning, they work hard, obey the laws, they raise their kids, they take them to church, they cook dinner, pay their taxes. I mean, they're the people that really make the country great. They're the people that's been your audience your entire career. That's been my audience my entire career. Our lives are because of very generous people that have blessed us. And I hate to see the American dream that we have both benefited from disintegrating before our very eyes. And there's not a single thing they can point to that they can say is successful, in my view.
Well, when I was talking to the president the other night in the back, I told him, I don't buy these polls. I mean, I've been slinging this real American beer for 4 months. I've gone to 18 different states. I'm pushing through all 50. And my fans are Democrats and they're Republicans. I see 8,000 to 10,000 people a day. I take pictures, sign autographs. Democrats and Republicans, they're all for Donald Trump. I mean, it's so lopsided. Middle America is so lopsided, it's unbelievable. But what you read in the press, demonizing President Trump, saying we're all domestic terrorists, talking about the Nazi stuff, none of that stuff is true. And I told Donald Trump, I can't even buy into these polls. And when he says it's too big to rig, that's exactly where this is at now.
I gotta order your beer online. I have less than a minute. What is it about that iconic arena? What is it about MSG? Tell me.
Well, it's like the Roman Colosseum. If you're an athlete, if you make it in Madison Square Garden, you've made it in your career as far as athletics. I mean, the fact that I was in Madison Square Garden for almost 40 years, when I walked out there the other night and I saw 22,000 people, it was the energy of Hulkamania, but it was even bigger. It was like all the Trump maniacs We're all on the same team. We all want to make America great again. And I was kind of worried going out there because I usually have another guy to work with out there. I was out there by myself, and I felt like everybody was with me because we were all on the same team. Right. We were on Trump's team, brother. And those Trump-a-maniacs, those are real Americans, and they want this country back, brother.
Hulk Hogan, don't, as the Washington Post said, the American people should not settle for a townhouse instead of a home with a yard. We appreciate you. Thank you, sir.
Hey, Sean. WWE Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan is here. What's up, Hulk?
It's Hulkoween, brother. It's that time of year.
Trick or treat, my man. How do you feel about Joe Biden calling you garbage?
You know what's so funny about that comment? I was appalled, highly insulted. But every year for Halloween, when I lived over in Bel Air, a few miles away from Clearwater Beach, we would open the gates to our house. Everybody from the neighborhood would come to our Halloween party. The garbage men would come. Then the kids would leave. I'd hang out with the garbage men until like 2, 3 in the morning, because I finally got to talk to them. They just always do a drive-by, And we'd sit there and drink beer. I just wish it would have been Hulk Hogan's Real American Beer back then. But those comments were appalling. I hated to hear that.
Yeah, actually saw my garbage man today, took a photo. Didn't put on his vest, but everyone is talking about this because you never insult the voters. Trump makes fun of pencil neck Adam Schiff, crying Chuck. He just said Mark Cuban's got slow head speed when he swings the club. Why do the Democrats keep insulting the American people?
Well, the only thing I could think is they're trying to humiliate the Trump supporters into voting for them. To call us Nazis. I was in Madison Square Garden. I looked all around. I'm used to the building. There was no stinking Nazis in there. There's no domestic terrorists. They call us deplorables, but to call us garbage, they're calling the American people that support Trump garbage. It's just ridiculous.
You're right. It's social shaming. They're trying to humiliate people so they're not proud of who they're voting for. You saw J.D. Vance on Rogan. You saw Trump on Rogan, 3 hours, 6.5 combined. Why isn't Kamala Harris going there if she needs to turn men out?
Well, let me start with this first, and then I'll go to here next, and then I'll go to there next, and then I'll do an end around Tutti Frutti over the top Fruity Loop, and I'll never give an answer.
Right.
That's why she didn't go on there. Donald Trump is direct, to the point. He's versed in all subject matter. He knows everything domestic, foreign, international, swing arm of knowledge. He's our guy. But to put us all in a category of deplorables, domestic terrorists, Nazis, garbage, what would happen if they got in power? What would they do to us? What would they do to us, the real Americans that want to make America great again? If that's what they think of us, can you imagine what they would do to us now?
Well, if Trump
just line us all up.
I know. Well, not if you're there. I think you'll protect the country. If Trump wins, are you going to play any role? I know RFK Jr. is talking about making America healthy again. Is Hulk going to make America tough again, strong again? Are you going to have any role?
Well, brother, in the wrestling business, when you're getting ready to draw some big money, you got to shoot an angle, put some hot spice on the feud. And when I had Trump in the back of the garden, I said, something? This Robert Kennedy Jr., he's on to something with nutrition. But if you tag team us up as the mega powers, the MAGA powers, there you go, the MAGA powers, RF Kennedy Jr. and Hulk Hogan, he could get them eating the right food, and I could get all of our kids in shape, brother.
That's what we need. We need a healthy, strong, young generation. I'm not worried about my son. He's already playing football. But the rest of the country, they need to tone up. Hulkamania running wild. It's not a Halloween costume. If you see him tonight, don't try to grab his mask off. It's the real deal.
The 24-inch guns, brother, protecting America.
Happy Halloween, Hulk.
Thank you, brother. Hulkoween.
Hulkoween.